to be able to do what we're going to be doing. Yeah, getting the system up and
Let's
going.
try to find
Yeah.
James. I'm sure he's in here somewhere. Where could James be? You know what?
Oh, that's a
He
documentary.
is back here
Yeah,
in
that's a
the back,
documentary.
doing
No,
what he
that's a
does best,
documentary.
working. James Harris?
Yes, welcome to Carver Jones Market. Yeah, is that good?
It is.
It is
What
good.
are you doing back here?
I was talking to my pharmacist. You
Oh,
know,
so
the
you have a pharmacy here?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Blair Pharmacy is
Yes.
going to be our partner in this venture.
Mhm.
And so he's back there doing his thing, getting things ready as well. We're so glad to have him with us, and going to be a welcome partner.
Excellent.
And a service to the community. He's both of they're a couple that owns the company, Daniel and Kim, and they're just fantastic people.
I think it's awesome because the citizens here in Fairfield won't have to drive 30 and 40 miles to go and get medication that they need right now.
Right now.
And so now you have, instead of having to drive those hours away, they can leave the doctor's office, come to Carver Jones here at Blair Pharmacy, get their medication, and go straight home and rest.
Yeah,
You know,
and-
nobody wants to drive hours around to try to get medication.
Yeah,
I think that's a good thing.
and I think the other thing is that those two carry the heart that we want for the whole store, and that is
Yeah.
they care about people.
Wow.
And it's that mentality that we want to permeate throughout Carver Jones. Is that you're not just a shopper, you're not just a person a consumer. We want you to feel like this is your store.
I love it.
This is it. You know, and feel that the vibrations of welcome.
I
You
love
know,
it. I
to
love it.
radiate throughout the store.
Awesome.
You know,
so,
so, yeah,
hey,
yeah.
guys, listen. James has everything set up from the time that you walk into the store until you get to the pharmacy and every place else here in Carver Jones Market. So, James, you want to start us from the very beginning here?
Absolutely.
Let's go to our
Absolutely.
buggies and see what's going on.
Absolutely. This is a system that we've been actually partnered with to address issues that people have. You have many stores when you walk in, you'll see tissue, dispensers where you can wipe your own buggy down. That's not what this is going to be. All of our buggies will go through a sanitation process, a machine that sanitizes not only the handles, but the entire buggy. And so it takes only a few minutes to dry. So all the buggies that will be in
These
line,
buggies here?
ready to
Okay.
be used, has already gone through that process.
Wow.
But they do not return back here once they are used until they're sent back through the machine for sanitizing again.
Nice.
So that's one of those things that we think is kind of special and shows value to the customer as well.
I think it's special. I think you've taken that extra mile to consider our health as consumers, to make sure that we can come into a store and not have to worry about, loading up on hand sanitizer
That's
every
right.
time we're doing things. It's
Absolutely.
already sanitized
It's
for
already
us.
for it.
And so when I'm looking now, James, even at the very beginning of the
Yes.
store, you have your own private label here.
Yeah, actually, we've got, this is one. This is what we call a Econo line.
Okay.
And then we've also got, it's called Always Save, which is 100% guaranteed. So if a person purchases it and they don't like it, they get their money back.
Wow.
Period.
So you got
So,
vegetables,
yes.
and cereals, and
Yes.
snacks, which my husband loves.
Yes.
He loves a good snack.
Yes.
Macaroni and cheese, some items that are just really so convenient to put meals together. I
That's
had
the
a
whole
big
idea,
family.
is putting meals together.
Yes.
This row is snacks, juices. This is mainly for our kids. Cold cereal, snacks.
Well, I
you
have
know,
a big kid then at
the
home
big-
because
the
he
big kid,
loves.
the big kid.
I can go to bed at night and get up at 2:00 in the morning. There is a bowl with him with his face in it, eating cereal. He loves cereal. He's a big kid, and I like the big value size
That's
as well.
right. That's right.
We'll definitely be getting this here. I was
Yeah.
thinking when the kids left home, we wouldn't do as much.
You wouldn't
cereal,
have
but
that.
we do just as much now with them gone.
Well, let me I'll tell you a little bit about the brand. It's 100% guaranteed. Many of these are made by national companies, and I won't reveal every one of them and talk about it, but just as to say this, that the quality is not lessened because of the price.
Right,
Okay,
right.
we had to have a good blend in this particular location, which is true for a lot of food deserts. Can you get fresh and affordable? Those are not, they're not equal. And sometimes you have to be able to pay a higher price
Right.
for a higher quality. So what we've done some things to help reduce that, not eliminate it. You can't eliminate it. Everybody plays in the same arena. But one of the things that we've done to help drive down costs is the private label. You can get more of this than you can a national brand for about
Right.
half the price.
Right.
Okay, so that's the value. You know, all our vegetables are line priced at 69 cents. Okay,
Wow.
I can't. These items here are line price is $2.67. Okay, so
And that's a lot.
that's a lot of cereal.
It's a lot of cereal for that price.
Yeah,
And it
yeah,
can
that's a
go
20,
long way.
20 and a half ounce box. So
Yeah,
that's
it's
a
a
big
good bit.
box. This is meal deals. Okay, so or meal application. You said it a minute ago. So we got pastas that are quick and
Yeah,
easy to
yeah.
do. We've got, you know, mac and cheese, which all the kids love.
Yes.
And then you got the mini shells and cheese dinner. So it's the same thing, but just in a different shape.
You know what I like about this is that there is an HBCU that's not very far from this
That's right,
location.
yes.
And it's Miles College. And I'm a proud graduate of Miles College. Go Bears. Had to get that in there. But, you know, one of the meals, a lot of the meals that I lived on in college, and I'm sure college students are doing that too, is that things like hamburger helper
Oh, yeah,
and tuna
absolutely,
helper
yeah.
and all of these things.
Yeah.
Things that you can really pair and put together because literally, if you don't have an actual kitchen per se, you can make everything here. You can make spaghetti off this aisle.
That's right.
In the microwave.
That's right.
The whole meal in the microwave.
Yeah.
It's so quick. It's so simple.
Yeah,
It's
so you got your
easy
sauces
to
down
do.
the bottom,
Yeah.
meat
and the
sauces,
garlic and herb garlic.
yeah.
Oh, that looks good.
Yeah. So you got the meat sauces, you got the noodles. Boom.
Everything you need.
Right
And
there.
what I would do, James, like I would get maybe like the stroganoff, and then I would add like little extra things to it, you know, to kind of make me look like I was really doing something really big. And I would get
That's
boxes
funny.
and boxes of these and really make a good meal, you know, out as a college student.
Oh,
and that's
that's
a
cool.
really good
Yeah.
thing to do.
Yeah. Here's all of our condiments and dressings and things like that to enhance meals. On the end there, we've got what we call the international section.
Okay,
You know,
okay.
so you have some.
Now, James,
Yes.
even with on this aisle here,
Yes.
I also see the Always Save brand as well. So, is it safe to say that in most items that you have here, if you have hot sauce in one and a name brand, you're going to also have it in Always Save?
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, great.
And so we've got two labels.
Okay.
I mentioned that to you, a private label. And because sometimes there are items that are not made in Always Save
Gotcha.
label. So the next one is called Best
Best
Choice.
Choice, okay.
Okay. And it's going to be maybe not as inexpensive as Always Save, but it's going to be very much compatible and lesser price than the national brand.
Wow.
Okay, so
Yes.
we wanted to give our customers some choices. So they got their Frenches and they got, you know, their crafts and those kind of things. You know, we have the Heinz, we have the Hunts. But if you want to use what we would call a commodity item like this, there you are at half the price.
Nice.
you know.
Nice. I
So
love it.
that's the
And even
part.
some of the other things that you have
Absolute
here.
Chick-fil-A sauce,
yes.
Arby's sauces, A1, you know, all those. Everybody loves Sweet Baby Ray's barbecue sauces, so we got an array of flavors in that. But then we also come back with our Best Choice
Yes.
and our Always
And you
Save.
always say, I love it.
Yeah.
I mean, you have things from the pickles to the vinegar
Yes.
and the red wine vinegars. I love olive. Oh, wait. Okay, so you have the apple cider vinegar. That is so good for a lot of medicinal purposes.
Yes, it
You know,
is.
to
Yeah.
really help you in weight loss and
Yeah.
lower blood pressure and regulate all types of different things. I'm glad to see that here. This
Yeah.
is very
Yeah.
nice.
Now, this department that we're seeing right now is the cream of the crop. And I literally mean cream of the crop. This is produce. And
Nice.
we're starting with, you know, fresh produce. It starts at the very beginning of the store. You will not see chips and cookies and sweet, those
Right.
kind of things in front of our store. We want to open up with a fresh impression in the customer's mind and then a value impression when we look at the walls of value, so we call
Yes.
it. Okay.
Now, I think something for the audience to know that they may not know is that the produce that is sold here are from local farmers.
That's right. A great deal of it. You know, we can't get everything,
Right.
but what we can get will come from a very short radius in the store. It's very important for two reasons. Number one, it helps reduce cost because you don't have the freight and all that. Number two, and this could really be number one, is the freshness of it. You know, it's not being shipped into areas of warehouses and then have to be pulled out, coming across the country for 3 days and then be put in a warehouse, and then, so it may be 5 or 6 days old before you see it. In this case, we're talking about just a few days from the time it's been harvested to the time it actually hits our store.
Right.
So,
wow.
you know, so
does that mean
freshness is
maybe
there.
less pesticides?
Absolutely. Well, absolutely.
Right.
There's so many things that people don't understand that goes into producing crops today in today's market. And so, sadly to say, pesticides is part of it. You know, so the answer is yes.
Yeah,
you
I
know.
think the longer it takes for it to come here and as many hands as it passes through, you have to do extra things and for the preservation
Yes.
Of the produce.
Yes.
And so I like the fact that it's not passing a lot of hands.
That's right.
And I like the fact that it's coming here from Alabama.
Yeah.
Will you have local honey here as well?
You put me on the spot.
I
didn't you?
did. I did. Because if it's not yet, I'm sure it's coming. You know,
It is, and we've got a couple of that. We wanted to go ahead and get the store set,
yes.
so that we could open and just kind of get a test the temperature of what our constituents in this community want.
Right.
And because we want them to own the store, we want them to say, "This is my store," and so that's important. Okay, so the answer is yes, and there are other items that we want to put in the store. We just need to make sure that if we take out something, we replace it with something that people really want.
Right.
Okay.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So which way are we going now, James?
Let's go this way.
Let's go this way.
Yeah.
All right. I'll let you
Yeah.
lead. This is
Yeah.
so nice.
Yeah. So we come out of produce. The traffic pattern goes this way, and so again, there's our hot and cold cereals. There's our coffees, our teas, and so on and so forth. These are canned goods, soups, pastas, rice, you know, all those items. We got name brand, again, Uncle Ben's, Zatarans, you know, Rice-A-Roni, you know, things that people are familiar with. But then we also have our private label.
Right.
And those are things that's going to be less than retail price versus other. Here's a great example right here is when you look at the canned meat section, canned tunas and so on and so forth, 93 cents versus $1.20.
Oh yeah, it's a
You
big
know,
difference.
It's a big
Yeah.
difference, yes. And so those are the kind of things that are, you know, spam is always one something that the luncheon loaf, as we
Right,
call it.
right.
You know, again, those are inexpensive meals that those people that want those things can have them, and then they can save money at the same time.
Right,
Okay. Same thing here in our, you know, hot breakfast items, cold cereals and snacks. We got our Boost, we got our Ensure, we got those kinds of things for us. I will use myself. Older adults like me, you know, just want to have something, a quick meal, and
Like a meal replacement.
yeah, a meal replacement. That's right. You know, I know I love breakfast, but I very rarely, unless it's on the weekend, and that probably finna go away.
Right.
Is that I would do it, you know, on weekends.
Right.
And so, and that's the kind of thing I would do. So I mentioned the cereals. Large boxes are very compatible line items, $2.69 on our Always Save items, and so on and so forth from there. Versus national brand, and we got them: Kellogg's, General Mills. We got them. Our store, this is another unique thing about our store that's different than maybe other stores. There are problems that these communities have, and one of them is theft. And so we want the people to feel secure. We want to do our due diligence in terms of being able to again, keep costs down. All those things ramp cost up. You know, it takes a long time to recover what was lost on a stolen item, and that's huge. Theft is what we call in the business shrink, and so shrink is simply an item that you brought it in and it didn't sell. You either threw it away or somebody took it. Okay, and so we want to keep that number down. We can't eliminate it, but we're going to do everything we can to help mitigate it. And that is the reason why the 60-inch shelving, the layout of the store, the 25 cameras inside or out is to help mitigate those problems, keep our customers safe. And those are not just everyday cameras. They are AI technology, which gives us some really, really unique things. I won't put it on air and tell them all the things,
Right, no,
but trust
please
me, it's good. It's good. Again, we're getting into our waters and our, our flavored waters, Gatorade, those kinds of things. Powerade is coming in here a little bit later. This is going to be our cooking section here, baking section, and that sort of thing. And then we get into our spices and our oils. This is actually the flow of the traffic of the store, is the way we're walking right now. And we have our back rooms there, break room over there. But then we turn our corner and we enter into our meat department. Fresh meats, frozen product, and so on and so forth. This is all of our health and beauty aid, household items. So we have a fairly good selection of those things as well. Baby formulas and diapers and those kind of things, and then in here into our canned vegetables, canned fruit, excuse me.
Now, James, this is my favorite spot right here. You got
Imagine that.
Yes, all the smell
Imagine
goods,
that.
the nice soaps, and the good lotion down
Yeah,
here.
yeah, imagine that.
That is my spot right here. And then
Imagine
for
that.
all of those guys who like to smell good, you got your smell goods right here.
Yeah.
Hold you down for about 48 hours, guys.
That is true.
This is really, really nice. And I was sharing with them earlier about how you have things that some people can kind of zip here, get like the Zen tags and just all this stuff that you can get to if you need something quick.
Yeah.
And you don't want to be in distress and have to drive 30 minutes away.
Yeah.
I can't begin to share that enough and to say how appreciative I am that you have put this in this area, because it's really going to help them. It's going to just ease so much pain.
Yeah.
And so people who don't live in food deserts would not know the anguish of not being able to just get in your car and go 5 minutes to a local store or local gas station even, and you just hop in your car, go 5 minutes, get what you need to get and get home. But there are these food deserts, and some people have never heard of that term, but these food deserts don't have that luxury. And if you're in pain, you have a toothache, or you need aspirin, you may be threatening a heart attack, and you cannot get somewhere for 30 minutes, that's hazardous.
Yes.
And it's just not good. And so I like that you have provided everything that everyone needs. You have your diapers over here, your food, your baby food. And James, let me just tell you the story. I have 3 children. They're adult kids now. And when I tell you, with my last child, the baby, the last jar of baby food that I purchased was glorious. I think my husband and I celebrated that day. We celebrated that day, the last package of pull-ups and the last package of wipes.
I get it.
We were very happy about that.
Yes, we were too.
Goodness. So, but I like what I'm seeing here, James. It's just so amazing. And popcorn there again. We're big popcorn lovers.
Yeah.
And I can't wait to get me a box of popcorn over here.
Well, let me, we've been tossing around the words food desert.
Yeah.
And many people have heard it, but they haven't put a true definition for it. And the true definition is really created by the USDA, and it's a 3 to 5 mile radius where there's no fresh, nutritious food. That doesn't mean it doesn't have available stuff.
Right.
But the stuff isn't fresh meats. The stuff isn't fresh produce.
That's right.
And Alabama has the dubious title of being #1 in the nation that have food-related diseases, its population. That means that you have a high level of people that don't have access to fresh, nutritious food, and that's predominantly in African American communities. And so the mortality rate that goes along with poor diet and poor availability is one of the things we wanted to go after. And you can't make people do anything, make the right choices, but if they have an opportunity to have a choice, then you're part of the way there. You know, if you don't have no choice and all you've got is fast food restaurants around you, that limits your choice, and then you don't have transportation to go other places. That's a pretty, it's hard to believe that we live in a nation that that's still an issue, but trust me, it is an issue. And it's not me saying that. Go out there on the website of the USDA, Google food desert and where they are, and you'll find that more than 3,500 of these kinds of locations are in the south and southeast part of our nation. The other big pockets is California and Texas. So this is, we're testing, this is kind of a beta test where we're testing the systems we're using, the product variety we're carrying, the way we're staffing ourselves with more than 50% of high school kids. Everything is done with purpose. It's not just a hat deal. And even the square footage of the store, we reduce because every time you add square footage, you add cost. Every time you add cost, you add cost to your overhead. And there's no but one place to pass that on, and that's through cost of goods.
That's right.
Okay, so
and I'm happy that you are considering that, because a lot of people, James, who don't know the ins and outs in the back office of what takes place, they may think, well, I wonder why this size? Well, okay, why not this size? You know, I'm thinking about the betterment of the community.
Yes.
So you don't want it to be, you know, you're eradicating the food desert issue. You don't want it to be a money desert issue.
Yeah,
you know,
absolutely.
You want to be able to provide good quality items for people that it's affordable, that they can get it in the nice sizes, because some convenience stores will sell these things. Okay, there's a lot of gas stations in the area, but they're small in quantity, but the price is real high. And so you're not getting the best for what you're paying for. So I love this.
The thing as we talk about price, very good subject. Everybody's going to attack it. They're going to look at the product, and they'll look at the price, and they're going to say you're not. I can get it cheaper at Walmart. Yes, you can. I freely admit that. Part of everything that has to happen is that you have to be able to turn a profit. You cannot leave. How can I say it? I'm gonna just be candid. You have to have profit. Profit is not a bad word. Profit is the difference of what you paid for something and what you sell it for minus your expenses. And so we need to have a margin to be able to be self-sustainable. You can't keep dumping money down a hole and never find a way of recovery, or the store closing. You got the same problem you've always had. So two of those things is keeping overhead down as much as we can. We don't pay the same square footage for our buildings as a Public or Winn-Dixie or some of the bigger chain. We're small dollars per square foot. We use high school kids. And I say use only from the standpoint is that we're investing in them and they're investing in themselves.
That's right.
And so we're teaching, we're grooming, we're doing those kind of things. Okay.
Well, let's look at some more things around here at Carver Jones, because I'm telling you this, I'm getting hungry just walking around here.
Well, I'm glad we don't have our fresh meats, sliced meats, and those things in yet, because those come in at the very day before opening. You don't want you don't want to have products sitting around that that's aged sitting in the case. No, we don't want that. This is fresh meats, sliced meats, some deli slices over here, sausage, those kind of things over here. Hey, by the way, we will have Kaneka sausage in here.
Oh,
Everybody asked about
yeah,
that.
the Kaneka
Going to have
sausage,
Kaneka
yes.
sausage in here.
So you can get that
Yeah,
good gumbo
absolutely,
going
absolutely,
and all that other
absolutely.
good stuff. Yes.
My wife, this, you know, in the fall, that's her thing.
That's what she does.
This is all of our dairy, where we're going to have milk, eggs, cheeses, all those kinds of things, yogurts. Those things will be in these 10 boxes doors here. These doors here are all frozen, and so you'll have pizzas, you have frozen vegetables, you have frozen
And I see that
dinners.
you have some items in there already. They're frozen too.
Yeah,
So.
they're frozen. This is all frozen, so that doesn't have the problem. All these cases are frozen as well. You can see them stocked. This one is going to be filled with our Pick 5 program. And Pick 5 is you get 2 pounds of vegetables and meats of your choices, an offering. And you get that 5 items, any one you pick, any mixture, and it's $24.99.
I like that.
Yeah.
So I'm sure I've seen that in other stores,
Yes.
but they were not quality stuff.
Yes,
It's
this-
like, okay, I'm not going to pick
This
one.
is bought from local
Okay.
producers that are here in Alabama. So
Nice.
you're not doing that sort of thing.
Oh, I can get these to make my chicken and dumplings.
Yes, that's what my wife uses it for too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. And then you got, believe it or not, fries are huge in these markets, in the
Yes.
market period. So we got OIDA, we got Always Say big bags
Right.
and those kind of things. And then we got some of the, Checkers, some of the, name brand items
I
there.
mean, fries are just a staple.
Yeah,
Fries
it
can
is.
be
It is.
a
It is.
side,
That's right.
or it can be a main
Yeah.
menu. I mean,
Yeah.
it's just
Yeah.
so much you can do with fries.
Yeah. And so these doors here are our ice cream and novelties ice cream, juices, frozen juices, those kind of things. Pizza, believe it or not, has its own, it's huge. And so it will have its own 2 doors just to
Okay,
be able
pizza.
to accommodate. Yeah.
Great.
And of course, we're going to have name brand ice cream.
Right.
Like Bluebell, they have a big section of Bluebell ice cream here. And
Dude,
that sort of thing.
I'm wondering, and I may be, one of the only here, but I'm more vegan.
Mhm.
And so I
Yes.
like a lot of vegetarian,
Yes.
vegan things,
Yes.
non-dairy type things.
Yes.
Do you
Yes.
have any of those items?
Absolutely,
here?
we do. Yes, we do.
Okay.
And as a matter of fact, depending on the customer's desires, we'll increase that category.
Okay,
If there are people to buy.
There's
them.
a need for it, yeah.
The thing about a store this size is that you have to be. You can't do the big shotgun approach. The typical grocery store has about 35 to 40,000 items on the shelf.
Okay.
We're going to have less than 10% of that.
Okay.
Okay. So that kind of gives you an idea of we're trying to eliminate doubling up on, a huge, section of green beans.
Right,
A huge section of, several varieties of different products.
Well,
different
it's like you
categories.
said earlier, it's something that's getting started here, and it's something, what's going to be offered is based on as you said, your constituents, you, the people in here in Fairfield and the Jefferson
right.
County area.
That's right.
It's going to be based on you. So
That's
you come
right.
in, you see what you like, you buy what you want, and
That's
if those
right.
things that you don't really like, let them know.
Yeah, that's right.
And let them know what you want to see more of, because as you
Absolutely.
said, Carver Jones Market is for you.
That's right.
The people.
The people.
And so we want to make sure that things that are here are catering to your needs and to your desire. So James, this is awesome.
I got one kind of bookend I want to make comment, and it flows into this show, but this is very tangible, and we've been talking about tangible things.
Right.
We're talking about things that you can feel and touch, but they came from the heart of God of solving a problem that so many people say is unsolvable.
Right.
And so the strategy, there's so much behind what we're doing. There's so much other interaction of things that we want to do and going to do. You make baby steps so that you and your team don't get overwhelmed. And so you begin. So if you do a whole lot of things to begin with, what's going to be the result? It's going to be bad because you're trying to do too many things.
Too much.
Too much, too fast. And so we want to take steps and then measure those steps and the results of those moves. But this is a God thing. I want people to really understand that. When we would get down and dig into the numbers and dig into how this came about, it truly is amazing.
Wow. Well, it's beautiful, James. I want to say personally, I give you a hard time all the time.
I'm glad you recognize
But
that.
yes, I do, and I have fun doing it. But I want to say congratulations to you.
Thank you.
My husband
means
and
a lot.
I, we are ecstatic about it. We're ecstatic about coming here today and bringing Carver Jones to the podcast, to your podcast, and for them to really see what God is doing here
Yes.
and what it looks like to be obedient and not to be afraid to think outside the box, because when you do, you allow God to do his great work.
Amen.
So again, James, congratulations
Thank you.
to you.
Thank you.
Kudos to you. The grand opening, I will not be here for. I'll be in South Africa. We'll talk about that when I come back.
Yeah.
But
that's cool.
you will, I know that God's going to show up for that. It's going to be
Amen.
spectacular. And I know
Amen.
Fairfield and the Jefferson County area is going to be all the better for what you're bringing to the community. So
I like to believe that.
congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
And
Thank you.
Good job.
Thank you.
Well
Thank you
done.
so much.
I love it.
Thank you.
I love it.
Thank
All
you.
right, guys. Kingdom Solutionaries podcast. We did something different today, and guess what? We plan to do a lot more of this too. I had a good time. Did you enjoy yourself?
I loved it.
Yeah. So we're gonna go some places, do some things, and take the podcast on the road a little bit too, and have some fun with that. So again, thank you so much for joining us here today. And remember, the best way that you can help provide services, bring people out to Carver Jones Market is to share this link. So share this link with your network of friends on social media, all your social media platforms. Get the information out there so people can come out, take a look, buy groceries, and support. So thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you back here next week.